That's what the Yamnayas called home. They were pastoralists, living from their herds of cattle and sheep, unlike Neolithic farmers from Europe, already living from agriculture at the time. They were nomadic people, and for the first time in history, people could carry not just themselves, but their entire households across continents. And it showed in how they buried their dead. Kurbans were filled with weapons, carved elements, and animal sacrifices, each visible from miles away in this barren landscape. A clan leader lived here. A clan leader will be remembered here. Archaeologists have found thousands of these throughout Europe and Asia, but for more than a century, their story remained strangely silent. The first Yamnaya graves described in 1901 by Vasily Gorodstov, a Russian archaeologist digging in what is now Ukraine, he noticed their distinctive features, the ochre, the wagons, the mounds, and realized he was seeing something different from the farming villages to the west. But in the early 20th century, there was little to connect them to anything larger. They were just more prehistoric people among dozens. And that was the problem. Unlike the Egyptians or the Sumerians, the Yamnaya left no writing. Unlike the builders of Stonehenge or Göbekli Tepe, they left no monuments that astonished later generations. As their lifestyle suggested, all they left were mounds of earth, bones stained with red and broken pottery. Still, until the early 2000s, they were mostly a mystery. Their kurbans dotted the map, but their significance was debated endlessly. Were they the Proto-Indian Europeans, the ancestors of Europe's languages, or just one more at the map, but their significance was debated endlessly? Were they the
¿Tú sabes quién soy yo?
Sí, lo sabemos.
Proto-Indian Europeans, the ancestors of Europe's languages, or just one more vanished culture, swallowed by time? Well, for most of the 20th century, they were the latter. Little more than a theory. Nothing could prove they mattered beyond their own horizon. The idea that they might have reshaped Europe or anywhere else was considered fringe, even dangerous. That's what changed in 2015, when Wolfgang Harp and colleagues published in Nature their results comparing the genomes of Neolithic farmers, Bronze Age herders, and modern Europeans. The results detonated like a bomb in archaeology. Across huge swaths of Europe, the genetic signature of early farmers was just gone, replaced almost overnight, at least in evolutionary terms, by the DNA of the Yamnaya. In places like Britain and Iberia, up to 90% of the population was replaced within just a few thousand years. For decades, archaeologists have repeated the mantra, pots, not people. Culture spread, but people themselves mostly stayed put. Migration was an outdated idea in this already populated world. Too simple and too tainted also by its misuse in nationalist ideologies. But ancient DNA told a different story.
A man who works hard, sweats hard.
Old Spice swagger fights sweat.
So Coach thought I was slacking.
Story. It showed that whole Aboriginal populations could and did vanish. The Yamnaya didn't just appear in Europe, they repopulated it. And they didn't stop there. Their DNA spread east as well, into Central Asia and eventually South Asia. A 2018 study in Science traced their genetic influence into the Swat Valley of northern Pakistan, linking them to the ancestors of Indo-Aryan speaking peoples. From Ireland to India, their genetic fingerprints turned up again and again. And then the study's data revealed the most unsettling part. The replacement wasn't sex-biased. Studies showed that Yamnaya men intermarried or perhaps imposed themselves on local farming women. The Y chromosome lineages passed from father to son were overwhelmingly Yamnaya. By contrast, their mitochondrial DNA passed from mothers showed far more continuity with Europe's earlier farmers. In plain terms, steppe men, local women. The male side of Neolithic Europe was wiped out. The female side lived on, absorbed into the clans of the newcomers. That asymmetry left behind lasting marks. Today, the most common paternal haplogroups in Europe R1b in the west, R1a in the east, both traced back to Yamnaya ancestry. They are literally the fathers of Europe. The genetics also revealed that Yamnaya's own origins. They were a fusion, a mix of Eastern European hunter-gatherers and Caucasus hunter-gatherers. Somewhere on the open grasslands north of the Black Sea, these two populations met and merged, creating a new genetic profile that would sweep continents. Cultures like corded ware in northern Europe and Belgica in the west, once thought to be mostly local developments, turned out to be filled with steppe ancestry. The old Mancha model collapsed.
No, culiao.
And their real name was Yamnaya. What made them so successful?
Waduh.
The horse, the wagon, the plague that cleared their path, or the ruthlessness of their patrilineal clans? The answer is still debated, but one thing was clear. Without them, modern Europe would look, sound, and even be very different. They weren't just another prehistoric culture. They were the reset button of Europe's population, and their influence didn't stop with genes. They carried a language that would one day fragment into For centuries, linguists puzzled over why so many languages across Europe and Asia seemed related, from English to Greek, Irish. They all share deep structural similarities and ancient roots. Surprising for such a large area and so different cultures. By the 18th century, scholars like Sir William Jones and Greek were too close to be coincidence. They must have come from a common ancestor. That ancestor is what we now call Proto-Indo-European, the mother tongue of nearly half the world's population today. Reconstructed vocabulary gives us a glimpse into their world: wheel, axle, horse and cow, wagon and yoke. They're the words of the nomadic people, similar to the Inuit, who have 16 different words for snow. But they also had other, more tainted words: kinship, hierarchy, king, chieftain, guest, and oath, all traced back to Proto-Indo-European roots. All these suggest a world where loyalty, obligation, and reputation mattered as much as food and shelter. The guest wasn't just a visitor. The word carries undertones of sacred duty and protection. And then there's religion. Many Indo-European cultures worshipped a sky father: Zeus in Greece, Jupiter in Rome, Deus Pitta in the Vedas. All of them echo a Proto-Indo-European figure, Deus Pater, literally Sky Father. It was a concept carried across thousands of miles, reshaped but never erased. Other myths travel too. The divine twins, sons of the sky god, appear as Castor and Pollux in Greece, the Ashvins in India, and the Dioscuri in Rome. The ritual sacrifice of cattle, central in Vedic hymns, has parallels in Homeric Greece. Even taboo words reveal connections. In several branches of Indo-European, the word for bear was avoided and replaced with euphemisms, an echo of a shared mythic fear. This doesn't mean every Indo-European culture
Jews have killed prophets. We have suffered because of it. We sometimes have the sins of arrogance, smugness, of not listening to the teachings of God and the teachings of the prophets. And we recognize that. We don't claim through chosen people or whatever it is that we are superior and immune from these flaws. But we do recognize that we still have the responsibility of trying to be God's people. And hopefully, we try to do our best. So all I'm saying is, if you look at the whole picture, you see a God of accountability, that we are very definitely accountable and responsible for very serious transgressions. And God is saying that we are His, no matter how bad we are. Now that doesn't mean we get a free ride, and God...
What's a product you thought you'd use all the time but actually never do? This one might be surprising. When I first moved to college, I ended up getting this little device called the Remarkable 2. It's this insanely thin e-ink tablet that I got to take notes on in class, and you can even type on it, which is even crazier. Now, I actually did use this thing for a couple months. These are all my old notes before I dropped out, and I gotta say, writing on this thing feels real. Yo, what's going on?
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4. We've got millions of free child place holidays available with 22 kilograms of baggage.
Your iPhone 17 needs our most advanced mouse case ever.
You're gonna call the authorities? Are you serious?
Oh, hell yeah.
You're gonna call the authorities because
Bro, I'm telling you, man, I'm just like, just imagine for a brief moment, she has the power to just click a button, and she has to be deported out of the Starbucks, okay? Think about how swell things could be. Another dumbass make the Starbucks writing loser on the cup, then that location was getting threatened and harassed until CCTV proved it was a hoax. Yeah, oh yeah. Karen has a meltdown in a Starbucks when barista forgot to call out Charlie Kirk's name.
So you didn't call his name out? You didn't call the name out? Yeah. I am. Yep. Why can't you say his last name? Why are you being like, why are you being like this?
I can't tell you what I personally feel should be done to some people that behave like this. I just can't. I can't say it. The environment is, the tension is too high. But I think, like, it would be best if they didn't forget to take their medically prescribed lithium, okay? Wait for the face reveal.
Well, okay, why are you being like that to me? I'm not.
Like, absolutely nothing has happened here that is wrong or no grievance whatsoever, right? Like, there's nothing worthy of grievance. Also, yes, spiritually, Israeli is right. Okay? That's what this is. Just like the false assumption that you are ordained by a higher power to be as annoying as you want to, wanting to occupy other people's space, and enforcing them to do your bidding. And even when they actually do, because they don't fully understand what's going on, obviously this is like, you know, they're in the service sector, so they're trying to do their very best to respond to your wishes, right? Turn around and still make a big show of it. Turn around and make a big show of it, lose your mind over nothing.
I actually am making a point, a big point. I actually wrote a very good post prior to this. It's not. I wrote a very good post.
I wrote a very good post prior to this. Oh no.
Prior to this. I wrote a really good post. I was really hoping you were going to make the right choice. It's not politics. A man spoke up for what he believes in, and he got shot in the neck over it. And you couldn't stand there and call my name out. My name. But you called his name out. But you called his name out, couldn't call his name out. Called his name out, but couldn't call his name out. No, actually I was setting him up for success because I wrote a really good report. Excuse me?
Oh my god, of course she has her animal inside. I can't, I'm sorry. I'm not one of these people when I bring Kaya everywhere, okay?
It is Charlie Kirk. It's the point. You guys came in after me. The place was completely empty.
Dude, how pathetic of a life do you have to lead for this to be your bold political move? Just like making ridiculous demands of 9-to-5ers that are just trying to make ends meet and pay off their student loan debt and pay their goddamn landlord 50% of their salary instantly. This is what it is. Conservatives are cringe. They're gross. They're losers. And it's because they're annoying. And this is why they cannot reach the level of popularity that they think they deserve. Because they're unbearable. But because they can't change culture to reflect their reality, because they're operating under the false notion that, like, if everything looks like a Daily Wire production, then there will be other unhinged losers all around, and you will become popular. They just can't cope with the reality that they're just not popular. Like, their opinions are not going to ever reach mainstream popularity, no matter how hard they try it. So they have to have a mechanism of enforcement. And shame is the tool that they try to utilize, even though they are utterly devoid of shame themselves. I hate every part of this video so much. Every part of this video. You are such a monstrous loser, man. To mistreat regular-ass service workers like this, with this insane level of entitlement. Like, that person didn't even do anything. They didn't go like, oh, you. Right? She's literally terrified. She's being filmed. She's like, oh, God, I'm about to get death threats. That's what this is, by the way. That's what happens in the aftermath of this kind of activity. You're just like unleashing an unimaginable torrent of death threats towards people who do not deserve it at all, who have done nothing wrong. This is the type of stuff that makes me hate America, man. I hate people like this. I know that this doesn't represent a large majority of the population. I know that. God damn, dude.
And you're making a scene. You didn't have to make a scene. It's a name. It's a policy that your company upholds. They came in after me. It was
disgusting. Disgusting. You are filth, okay? You are a filthy person. You have nothing. You literally have nothing. You have nothing in your life. Oh my God, she is 5 seconds removed from blowing her brains out. And this is the last hope that she has for human interaction. To lord over service industry workers. Oh my God.
Completely empty when I came in. That woman right there was the only person in here. I actually wrote you guys a really good review prior to getting this, saying what upstanding it was, how wonderful it was, hoping she would stand there and say my name. Charlie. Just Charlie would have been fine.
This is why none of your immediate family talk to you, okay? If you are like this person, if you believe the same shit that this person believes, if you behave like this is why nobody wants to talk to you. That's why you're alone. That's why you're lonely, okay? God damn Republicans, man. They are so annoying. An entire movement designed around, why won't people like me? Why won't people like me? She literally did say the name, by the way. She just didn't say Charlie Kirk. She said Charlie. I think she did say Charlie Kirk too, but like it wasn't sufficient for her. It doesn't matter. It's all a performance.
I remember that first pop episode of her coming back. We're in Miami. I went back home. I woke my wife up and I said, babe, we gotta take all of our money. We gotta dump it. I swear to God, my wife, I said that. You know what? We should have.
She said his name, so I was saying, okay, maybe it's just gonna be Charlie. And I was thinking she'll say just Charlie.
This is what happens when your ideological movement is utterly devoid of any sort of serious goals. Like, on the Nazi side, on the extremist side of the reactionary movement, they do have some goals. They want to, like, make America white, right? It's a horrifying vision. It's violent. It's morally repugnant. But there is a goal there. For these guys, I don't think they mind as much if America became a white country, for sure, like, but they're not championing that cause as much. So they have nothing. They're rudderless. It's all just like whatever the television told them is a cultural agreements that they have to be on board with. Because like the government is run by these buffoons right now. Your guys are in charge. You have broken your brain into believing that you have some sort of popular mandate. Okay? Obviously said popular mandate does not exist in the real world, so when you meet people, when you encounter people in the real world, you're like, why don't they like me? I thought people would turn around and say, you were right all along, now that Donald Trump is president. No, of course it's not gonna happen. You're a loser. You are a goddamn loser. Nobody likes you. Nobody likes your worldview. And your political expression, your political demonstration is so repugnant, so off-putting to like average onlookers that I could totally see another guy who's like, listen, I'm a Republican, but you need to shut it up, even in this process. It's just so stupid. Everything is done at the point of commodity consumption. Capitalism has bricked our brains, dude. What you consume is the only cultural signifier that you can present to others. And you have to be just like this rapacious nuisance to everyone around you until they submit to your will. And it's not enough. It's not enough that they submit to your will as these service sector workers did. They have to literally like sing your praises. Like they have to say, oh my God, thank you so much for doing this bold move. Thank you. I've actually changed my entire worldview now. I was non-binary. You came into the coffee shop and demanded a Charlie Cart latte or whatever the... Now, I think that's the devil's work. Thank you for opening up my eyes to the reality. I certainly don't think you are a loser. There's a part 2 where the police show up. Oh my God, that's her face. Oh, of course, dude.
And I was rooting for her to just say Charlie, and what did she do? She brought me my drink. Why'd she say his name? Twice. Not once, but twice.
This is why my policy is...
Twice.
Of course, dude.
And I...
Loser. There's a part 2 where the police show up. Oh my God, that's her face. Oh, of course, dude.
And I was rooting for her to just say Charlie, and what did she do? She brought me my drink. Why'd she say his name? Twice. Not once, but twice.
This is why my policy is... We need to find a technology that makes it so that you guys that work in the service sector can just click a button just like I do and just like banish someone from the store. Okay? Think about how much more enjoyable and tolerable your job would be if you could just go click.
No, it's not. It's bad policy. It's bad. And she could sort of believe in politics, but yet you're willing to do this. And I wrote you guys such a good review in advance.
I wrote you guys such a good review. Like, shut up, get out of here.
It's not though. See, and that's the problem.
Can't you just tell her to get the
And now I'm gonna have to go back. I'm actually gonna post the good review that I wrote first. And then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna add this video to it to show that I wrote the good review first. I'm gonna leave the good review and I'm gonna post this video to show.
That'll show everybody. Video and feel it even. It's fine. Of your stream.
What an ass she made of herself and how you came out and you did this. Because this is, wow, I didn't talk to her. I'm actually talking to you. It's called freedom of speech. This is what.
Demeter Evie Prep uses diet.
It's called freedom of speech. It means I can be a nuisance. I can be a public nuisance. I can be just as annoying as I want to be. That's right. And you have to sit there and you have to gaze at me. And you have to...
You're gonna ask me to leave because you're gonna call the authorities? Are you serious?
Oh, hell yeah.
You're gonna call the authorities because
Bro, I'm telling you, man, I'm just like, just imagine for a brief moment, she has the power to just click a button, and she has to be Shadow Realms and hog a leaf. Holy
somebody to say a name. I'm disturbing what? I'm disturbing who? This is the person who made the scene. Okay, I'll go ahead and leave the video too. I didn't make a scene. I asked somebody to say a name. That's not making a scene.
To an extent of when Felix said everyone just wants to sell t-shirts now, Amerifast want to be the main character at all times. It's the worst shit ever. Suburb whites especially have zero actual adversity and love to lean into this made up bullshit. This is why they get scared of witches and demons too. Burger Brain is so terrible they can never feel shame. The other side of the story is also a lack of labor laws here. Because like, Americans when they travel to like France or something are shocked. They leave in utter horror when they go to the average restaurant. And the waiter is basically spitting on them, right? for not immediately being an obedient little, that's what they're used to. They're like, why aren't you servile to me, slave? Right? And the waiter maybe shows up, maybe doesn't show up, because they have more labor power. Because their life is not dependent on the tips that they're gonna get. Their wages are not dependent on their performance. That's what we need in this country. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if it makes the service substandard, okay? I don't care. I don't want people to be put in this position. It's disgusting. The only people that actually work a working class job, that are class traders, of course, that should be able to demonstrate this level of restraint are cops, okay? You should be able to operate like this around a cop, and a cop should have to take it. Because the amount of power that they have at their disposal and the lack of accountability